All right, welcome Virgo to your monthly sidereal forecast for July 2015. My name is Athen. So this month we've got two full moons right at the beginning on the 1st and then again on the 31st, and a new moon in the middle, of course, and a lot of aspects here taking place with Jupiter and with Mars and stuff, which I'll get into, and Venus is going retrograde as well. So let's go ahead and have a look at this. So right at the beginning of the month is full moon in your 4th house of home and family, of past and roots. You've had Pluto transiting here for many years. And so whatever this stripping away of, letting go of the home, family stuff, whatever it is, has been the theme. And this full moon is going to be happening within 5 degrees of that Pluto, really emphasizing this detachment, or at least it's important for you to detach as well as you can relating to these 4th house matters. And that's all becoming illuminated here on the 1st, helping you see, or at least there's an opportunity for you to see the home and family stuff, how that's going. It can also be a culmination of any home and family stuff that started about 6 months ago as well. It's also a culmination of the 9th house matters, where you had the new moon last month, of the travel, expansion, philosophy, anything like that you started 2 weeks ago can culminate around the 1st as well. Now, that energy there on the 1st is actually quite opportunistic and how would you say, we're feeling quite good about it. Venus is conjoining up to Jupiter in general during this time. So here in your 11th house, there has been perhaps a lot of opportunities with networking, with groups, connecting to friends, meeting people, socializing, community-related things, humanitarian things, whatever that's been for you. Now, the conjoining Venus just emphasizes that even more. You can really enjoy this stuff. Also, more opportunities with the travel stuff, perhaps, and the finances as well, since Venus does rule both your 9th and your 2nd house. So that's quite nice. You've probably been feeling this towards the end of July as well. It's a subtle energy. Now, 5th and 6th, we have the Sun opposing up to Pluto, which is very important that we balance this plutonic energy that I was talking about. So here it's the classic example of balancing work and career, which was recently an emphasis for you towards the second half of last month, and is going to be playing a very big role this month here, especially with this opposition right at the beginning. So it's very important that with whatever it is you're motivated on and very excited about, your energy level should be quite high this month, I would imagine, for most of you, with the Sun and Mars up at the top of the chart. Really moving towards career or your goals, big picture stuff. Balance this with the home stuff or the family stuff, whatever this transformative energy is taking place there. And by balance, it's really being open to change, and the more willing you are to have change in this part of your life and your 10th house as well, both home and career side of things, then you'll be working with this transit. And again, detachment is the best way to utilize it. So detachment about the career and the home stuff as best as you can. But making any changes that need to be made there is certainly the key. Now on the 8th, Mercury changes sign. He goes into that 10th house, further emphasizing more of it. So here I think you'll be thinking a lot about perhaps the work and career stuff. And, Mercury being the mundane planet can really help you get the routine taken care of, get everything organized in the work stuff for you to, continue with any goals or things that you're working on in that area. Mercury does naturally rule your 10th house too. So, it's in a place where it naturally comes alive because you, Virgos, it's very important that in your work that you are doing something either intellectual, rational, you're using your mind in some sense, and this is always a nice energy to work with when Mercury goes to the top here. Now on the 15th, we then have that new moon in that 10th house, further emphasizing these new beginnings. Further emphasize these new beginnings around career and work and everything on that level. So whatever it is that you're going to be reflecting on, just think around that middle part of the month, 15th, what new beginnings there, what you want to see in the next 2 weeks, 6 months, whatever it is, relating to career. It's a good time to set intentions. And then as that moon starts to fill up energy, putting in energy for the next month, the next 6 months, relating to it. And I think the energy will certainly be there with all these planets, especially Mars up there at the top of the chart where he loves to be, and the Sun loves to be as well also. Venus changing signs. She's going to be going into that 12th house of yours around that time period, around that middle part of the month. So here, enjoying the spiritual side of things, enjoying your spiritual connections, meditative, alone time, whatever it is there for you, and reflecting on perhaps the life path stuff and maybe even financial stuff in the spiritual sense, because Venus naturally does rule both your 9th and your 2nd house. So, but in either case, enjoying that spiritual tranquil time will certainly be an emphasis. She's going to go retrograde on the 25th, so there perhaps are some things to learn about this stuff in relation to that, but connect to it nonetheless. Venus is always where we can enjoy ourselves. Now, at that same time, Mercury conjoins up to Mars here while they oppose up to Pluto at the very same time they conjoin. So here, I think the conscious energy of these, whatever it is you're perhaps working on analytically or day-to-day stuff with your work can be very intense, very direct. This is a good energy to work with because it's a good placement of Mars, I would say, at the top of the chart. So be very direct, okay, in your communications, but not too direct. And I say that because it's opposite Pluto. And Pluto is naturally sometimes we say things and we don't mean to say them. Sometimes, it can be very powerful and very deep and wounding sometimes. So obviously, within balance, and just be conscious of what you're saying, and remember to come from compassion. The truth is good, but only when those around us are willing to hear it. Otherwise, the truth can be very destructive sometimes, and we can see that as always a positive thing, but the best way to work constructively is at a pace that's best for everybody, and not everyone is always, needs to hear this piercing truth all the time. And I'm saying that for pretty much all signs because of this conjunction up with Mars and then opposing up to Pluto. It's very direct energy that has to be compassionate here. But this is in the area of your public life or your work life. So just do keep that in mind. But in either case, if you are coming from that compassion, which is the egoless energy, which Pluto loves, that's what Pluto's all about, then this can be a very powerful time for you to really give and contribute through your work. And again, maybe give selflessly or contribute or make any changes to that home area as well. Now, 22nd and 23rd, Mercury conjoins up to the Sun, your ruler. So here, with your ruler conjuncting, right when that happens, they both go into the 11th house. So there's a shift with Mercury was flying by your 10th house last month, or this month rather, now goes into your 11th house at full speed, conjoins up to the Sun. So this is always the time where your ruler conjoining up to the Sun, you can be very passionate, very excited, very self-expressive. So obviously keep that balance because this is a combust energy where Mercury kind of runs wild. So again, I think being very conscious of your self-expression, right, and the things you say and communicate there. So, and this is in the area of your satisfaction through work. It's also in the area of your groups and friends and things like that. So in either case, I think you'll be very passionate about these things, very communicative perhaps about these things around this last week of the month. And this is where a lot of the new beginnings are going to be shaping up for you relating to the 11th house. Now, 25th and 26th, Venus goes retrograde in that 12th of yours. Like I was saying, perhaps there's some things to think about in terms of what you enjoy about connecting to all that is. And also Uranus at that same time goes retrograde in your 7th. So activating your relationship sector here. Perhaps there's some things over the next 6 months to learn about freedom in relationships and freeing yourself in terms of relationships, especially with the South Node. This has been a very transformative area of your chart because you had in March, this eclipse energy here and all this scoring up to Uranus with Pluto stuff. But now there's definitely been a liberation, I think, this year in particular about your relationships in some sense, either your perspective on relationships or relationship in general or a specific one. So here, reflecting on that, whatever it is for you for the next 6 months will certainly be a good way to utilize this transit, thinking about it, reflecting on it, listening to your intuition about it as well. Now on the 31st, we have that full moon in Capricorn, the second full moon of the month, taking place in that 5th house of fun, joy, self-expression. Also culminating any of those new beginnings you started around the 10th house of work and career can certainly be a culmination point of that, at least in the short term. And reflect on your self-expression and reflect on your joy, your passion of life, all of these things around the 31st, because that area is going to be highlighted, lots of energy there for you to have fun and express yourself. So Virgo, it looks like most importantly, there's a few areas that are highlighted. One is your 10th house of work and career, certainly some new beginnings shaping up there. Again, assertiveness in that balanced way, and watching the extremes with that, and home and family, a good balance there. Saturn going back into your 2nd house, actually. I don't think I mentioned this, did I? Saturn is also dipping back into your 2nd house this month here on the very beginning of the month. But this will be a subtle energy you'll feel quite subtly as the month unfolds, where over the past 3 years, up until last year, because see, last year, towards the end of last year, Saturn went into your 3rd house. So for the past 3 years, minus the past 6 months or more, 6-7 months, Saturn has been in your 2nd. Okay, so all the stuff you learned over the past few years relating to finances, hard work there, saving your money, being disciplined with the financial side of things, all of this. There's some more stuff to be learned now for the next few months in relation to that. So I really recommend keeping a close eye and really working hard towards the financial side of things and your sense of self-worth as well, which is more generally what Taurus is about. And any hard work there always pays off with Saturn, but it looks like there's some final lessons, some final things to be reworked and rehashed in relation to that for you, Virgo. So I think that's going to be an emphasis this month, along with the work and career and everything on that level. Definitely some opportunities coming in and new beginnings shaping up too around groups and friends and community-related things, which is going to be a subtle energy leading into next month as well. But yeah, I would definitely be putting in that energy towards work and finances and the discipline level, and networking, connecting to friends and things like that. So hope you have a nice month, Virgo. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check out masteringzodiac.com, or if you'd like a personal session, and I'll talk to you all next time. Take care.